we are here for week 2. You will notice when I finish doing this video that I will have opened up this week's assignments and you'll have everything ready for you. I'm going to walk you through a few things that I want you to do today, and I will make sure that they are posted correctly. So one of the things that I want to make sure you understand is how to access your textbook. Last week you had to access the textbook and you had to annotate or answer some questions. You guys did very well with that. Let's see if I can find my textbook here. I don't know why it's being so contrary. Let's go to my core text. All right, there we go. So this week you guys will be working on reading. Make sure I show you everything that I'm doing. I want you to make sure that you can follow everything. So this week you guys will be reading chapter 4 in the textbook. So I wanted to walk you through that and show you some of the points that are really good to it. We're going to take a look at chapter 4, drafting and revising. So I want you to read through this chapter. This checklist is going to be important for you, so you want to make sure that you have this. You have already completed exercise 1. You've written a draft of your essay, and we'll be using that as we work through this week because we're going to be looking at revising the draft. You're going to make sure that you complete this revising checklist. If you have the textbook, it's on page 68, and notice it tells me down here where I'm at in the textbook. So you can see that we're on page 68. You're going to verify that you've done this work with it. And while we're not having a one-on-one conference this week, after I see what you can do on your own, we will be having conferences next week going into the next assignment. So this will be important for you to remember at a later date. So these are questions, however, that you can ask yourself. You'll find these on page 73, and really become your own critic. That's kind of essential to this. So you're going to want to make sure that your that your essay has your introduction with a solid thesis statement, that you have your body paragraphs. And I hate the way that this essay starts by in this essay. Don't even get me started. But anyway, so all of this you'll see. Notice how this person has annotated their paper, and they give some points here on the side. They've annotated some essential elements, and I'm going to ask that you do that a little bit. So you're going to use that checklist revising that I talked about. You're going to verify that you have completed those assignments. We're not working on peer reviewing right now, but we are going to be looking at labeling the final drafts of this essay to make sure that you understand what parts are what. So that is what you need with the editing and with the chapter 4. In chapter 5, editing and proofreading, I'm going to ask you to create a grammar log. And in that grammar log, you're going to create a 2-column document. So I'm going to show you how to do that. You're going to go into your Google Docs, and you're just going to insert a table. And I'm just going to start with, let's say, 10 for right now. So you're going to have the rule. I'm sorry, I didn't put another column in there. Hold, please. Let me put another insert column. Okay, so you're going to have the rule. Then you're going to have the non-example. And then you're going to have the correct example. and I'll show you how that looks. So if you're in the textbook, you'll see that it says this person discusses. So your rule is subjects and verbs must agree. So you'll go over here and you'll write subjects and verbs. Well, I can't type with somebody over my shoulder, even though I'm not over my shoulder, but you know what I mean. I'm being watched. Chronic liars, we have a plural here, so we need the plural subject. We have a plural subject here, so we need this. So one of those mistakes might be that somebody writes something along the lines of, well, I can show you with this one. Let me copy this one, and I'll show you what this looks like. Well, it's not going to let me copy. So let's go back. Chronic liars is ... And because we need to make sure that our plural subject lies with our plural verb, we might say something like chronic, just like it said in there, chronic liars are. And what's really interesting about working in Google Docs, and I'll zoom in here, you can see that this line, this little blue line here, tells me that something's wrong, and I have to be able to make that correction. So that's what that's about. So you're going to do that with the varying rules that you find in here. You're going to write the rule, and then you're going to give the example and the non-example. So you'll do that with all of the notes about that. So as you go through each of these activities, make sure you write down the inappropriate one or the non-example, and then the correct version. And you'll see that this is part of your checklist for when you're working through your paper as well. And that'll be part of your assignment. Even punctuation matters. So paying careful attention to when to use apostrophes and when not to use apostrophes. And I'll show you a little bit about that as well. So again, you're going to look back through your revised draft, looking to make sure you don't have any of these mistakes. Make any additional corrections that you have for your paper. Something has gone wrong. So, but anyway, that's how you're going to create your grammar log. So you are going to create that in a Google Doc and submit that link with me, making sure that you look for any errors in your paper. So additionally, you have the completing the removing personal pronouns sheet, and I want to talk to you a little bit about that. So let me go back over here and let me go open a more when you're writing, always make sure that you're using the MLA format. They have a lovely template for you right there. Whenever you're writing, you want to make sure that you avoid personal pronouns. You want to make sure that you avoid contractions in your formal writing as well. So it's really easy. That's what the personal pronoun sheet is for, to help you get rid of using those kinds of words. So you see here, there are plenty of resources if you just Google for them. So first person pronouns are I, me, my, we, our, us. And if you avoid those, you've already hit the mark as far as improving. So you'll see here that it gives you things that we tend to write and what we shouldn't do. So it gives original sentences and then corrected sentences. And notice how they've defined the pronoun here. Because if you say you in your paper, you're just talking to me. And you want your paper to reach a broader audience than that. So you want to make sure that you change those. So this exercise that you have to do will allow you to show that you know how to make corrections in that. So that's what you'll be completing there. But so again, avoiding personal pronouns and contractions. Instead of saying don't, say do not. Instead of saying there, say they are. Any of those types of things. So let's go back to our to-do page and see where we are. So we've gone through chapter 4, we've gone through chapter 5. I've shown you how to complete the grammar log, and then the worksheet that you will be doing. You also want to post an initial response in the discussion post, and then respond to at least 2 classmates' initial responses. And then make sure once you have submitted, once you are ready, then you're going to submit your final rhetorical analysis, making sure that you annotate the document based on those checklists that I showed you in the textbook. So with that, you should be good to go this week. I hope you guys have a great end of October.